Welcome to another episode of the Locksmith channel. I'm your host, Justin. Welcome. It's a beautiful Memorial Day weekend here, Saturday morning, and I wanted to take some time for my second video to talk about an area that I'm really excited in right now, which is jobs and locksmith related jobs. And from my perspective, just how if you wanted to be a locksmith, if you were going to sit down and that was a career path that you wanted to consider, the first thing that you're going to run into is, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's janky, but that there is not a lot of real job specific schools or training that a person could go to or engage in and feel confident that they're learning the skills necessary to be competitive, or to be good at it, to actually pursue it as a dream. So that's kind of one of the first hurdles. So it's really something you have to learn through interaction. If you're the kind of person who learns through interacting with things and being hands-on and having some information there to help guide you, some parameters, some barriers, some expectations, even the correct mindset when going into it, that being a lock tech can be for just about anybody if you have those, if that's how you learn. So what is a lock tech? It's a locksmith. I call it lock tech just because it sounds better to me. I don't know, but lock tech, it really breaks into 4 different categories, and the first category being, you've got automotive, you got which anything to do with cars, residential, homes. Some rental properties are more geared towards residential, commercial, and then finally retail. Now, we'll start off with the auto. It's a ton of information. You have to be able to read a manual. I don't have a manual with me today, but it's a pretty thick manual, and you have to be efficient at it. You have to be able to go to the page, look up the key, look up the car, get all your vehicle information, take a look at what what steps you need to complete it. So making car keys is something where you have to be able to resource that, or be able to learn it from YouTube videos or other videos or cue cards, something along that lines. But so you've got lost keys. You've got situations where people have their car stolen and they need them rekeyed because they don't want the old key to work. You've got proximity keys, laser cut keys. There's so many different variations just on how we start vehicles today. A big issue is when the keys won't turn. The customer puts their key in the car and nothing happens. Going out and servicing the ignition right there in the location. Entry, people get locked out all the time. On residential and commercial, you also get entries where you're helping people get access to their properties. On residential locksmith stuff, you've got rekeying their house. Oftentimes somebody will have an issue with their lock that they need repaired, and they want you to repair it for them. So you got to be able to disassemble it, figure out commonality there, see if you can find a product, what's going to work. You've got installations where you go in, they don't have a deadbolt, for instance, so you're drilling a hole, putting a new deadbolt on. Like I had said before, on going residential locksmithing, you're making entry. You're also doing that in the commercial. It's a little bit different. It's very similar how you approach the two. One thing about entry is everybody's got to be trust but verify. Yeah, it's your business. We'll meet you there. Do you have proper identification? Can you prove that you live here, that you own this car, that this is that everything you're telling me is true, and being able to document that information so that you're not aiding and abetting somebody committing a crime. On the commercial, they've got a little bit different functions. They'll have glass doors, panic bars, some higher thresholds as far as access. There's some American with Disabilities Act that you have to understand different things about how doors function and work. Rekey, installation, repair estimates, electric strikes, strikes. We don't do the electrical portion of it because we're not electricians, but we can install the hardware, and then an electrician comes back in, or low voltage technician will come back in and wire it up. You've also got, and then the final one being retail. So retail is really a little bit of all of that, because people will come in and ask for these questions. There's a lot of key identification. So we've got a wall with, we've probably got an inventory around 1,000 individual keys available. So you have to be able to understand what keys are for, how to find them. Cutting keys by code, which is something that you do on pretty much every other type of locksmith, is making copies of keys, and doing more intricate code keys. For example, if somebody loses all their keys, or if you're originating a house key from a code, we can generate that on a code machine. So it's a lot of information as far as what the field actually looks like, and trying to find some education related to that. I feel like that's the exciting part, is that I've worked out how I learn, and different and parts about my personality and what it takes to be successful at locksmithing. Some of it's like what we had talked about in some of my previous videos about a standard operating procedure, being creative every day, being healthy, and growing as an individual. Like, these are essential elements to be successful at this, and really at life. So let's just say you were able to do all those. Maybe you could master all three. There's a lot of flexibility in the schedule. Our services, we try to cover 24 hours a day. So there's a lot of flexibility on the times that, obviously retail, we don't have a retail store available at 2 a.m., but we've got customers who are calling who are looking for service at 2 a.m. So there's some flexibility if you already have another job and you want to start a new career, if you're going to college and you can only work part-time, but you can work 6 hours, 3 evenings a week. So there's a lot of flexibility in this field as far as related to what your work schedule is like. Income, it's if it takes you a long time to learn, you make an okay living. You can live. You're not living in poverty, but you're not getting wealthy by any means. If you're more advanced and you work hard and you're hungry, and you're willing to work 50 or 60 hours a week early on to learn, or the times that you do have available, you invest 100% of yourself in there. There's a ton of different doors, literally, that can open up, that can help you find into that next career, or even if it's something that you want to do for 2 or 3 years, or you go to college and you want something that you can be good at and make a good living and not sit at a desk all day, to be out moving and interacting. So there's some great income potential there. Depends on what you want, and I suppose that goes for anything. To learn it, to make a decision about whether or not this is something that you want to do, what I tell people right from the start is, don't give me 4 hours. Come into our retail store, meet our people, find out what our customers are like, see what the pace is like during the day. If it looks engaging and interesting and you're like, oh, that's cool, what is that? I want to learn about that. Then I think you'll be really good. If you find yourself extremely bored, if you're at hour 3, you're like, this isn't for me, I'm going to go. It's like, you don't have to go, just have a seat, man. Grab a cup of coffee, do whatever you want, so that you can get your feet wet, get a feeling for if it's something that you would like to pursue. As far as the training goes, hands-on, I got to be able to read video and live chat. So I can support you via live chat if it's something that you haven't done before and we don't have any resources available for you, none of the videos are covering that topic. Then we can also do a live chat. We can stream it, take a look at what the issue is for you, and help walk you through it remotely, so that you're not completely dependent on having somebody else there with you all the time. Now, why would you want to learn from somebody like me? Because I'm good at what I do. I'm not the best, I'll admit that, but I'm efficient and I'm effective. With our experience, like, we've been doing consistent growth for the last 5 years roughly, very consistent growth, and it's a company that's been consistently growing for a little over 3 decades. So I feel that we definitely know what it takes to be successful in this field, and we definitely know how to train lock technicians to be successful as well. So that's one of the reasons why, if you're in the Twin City metro area and it's something that you're considering, obviously hit us up. All my contact information is at the bottom of the video. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time today. If you're not in our area, you're somewhere else and you want to learn about this, want some more information, feel free to hit me up. My information, I'm pretty easy to locate. It might just take you a little bit of effort, but you'll be able to find me. I'm Justin. You have it's a Memorial weekend. You have a great weekend. Thank you.